I got Finger for Perthy. It's Wednesday night. It's podcast night. We have returning guest, Matt Colvin. You're absolutely one of our favorites. He's in full regalia tonight. We are doing top five Bob Marley, and it should be fun. We've got some Red Stripe beer. We got some. What's the rum again?
Rumbu.
It was delicious. So we've had a nice pre-party. So if you can tell,
I just didn't know if you needed a nap after using the word regalia.
yeah, it's been one of those kinds of parties in the parlor. Good stuff. And anyway, if you see her on pics, it's going to be a fun night. The attitude is already framed
Yes.
for a good time.
Positive.
Positive attitude.
Bob Marley, positive.
That's right.
That's right.
Every little thing's going to be all right.
All right.
And before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. Brindley's Family Pharmacy, which Matt is a pharmacist at, and that is the
testimonial.
Okay, for testimonial for Brindley.
For Brindley's Pharmacy. I recently changed all my prescriptions to Brindley's.
Rightfully so.
And several weeks ago, I'd had my prescription called in from the doctor's office, and I didn't need it till last week. So I go to get it picked up, and they're like, "We don't have anything here, and we don't know anything about this." So I'm like, "Well, I'm out, so I guess I'll just go to the house." And I go to the house, and I text Matt Colvin, and he's not even working, and he calls me on the phone and says, "They probably sent it to your old pharmacy at Foodland. I'm going to call and have it faxed to us. If you can come back up there or not, I will meet you up there."
Service.
And I said, "I can be back up there in about 5 minutes." And when I went back up to Brindley's Pharmacy, they were working on it.
Yep, that's service.
I've told Stephen we need a new motto that says, Brindley's Pharmacy, where everybody gives you a helping hand.
There we go.
I like it.
Yeah,
that sounds good. No,
and that's what they do.
We just try to do what you would do for anybody else.
Well, any family member.
Yeah.
I think Brindley's Family Pharmacy, that word family in it is.
Yeah,
it's meaningful.
We just try our best, and I would want you to do that for me. I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
So, hey.
Well, much appreciate.
Well, I've worked in customer service my whole life, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Good stuff.
Come see us. We'll
absolutely. Absolutely. Spices Smokehouse Crackers, where we're going to take home some crackers when we leave here tonight. They do a great job, and I tell everybody, if you buy them, you'll buy them again. They are fantastic. And last but not least, Busted Oak Bourbon Society. They have been, Percy and I will be there Saturday, playing a little Bob Marley and having a good time. And we're just coming off a wild weekend there. I had my 60th birthday celebration with Doug, one of the owners, Doug and Wendy. They did great. Doug was 63, and I beat the over and under and made it 60. We just had a great time Friday.
60 going on 30.
In my brain, it's 13.
Well,
we had
Saturday night. We had the Nautical Wheelers,
and
their 4th anniversary. And this next weekend, we'll be celebrating our 3rd anniversary.
Sunday will be our 3rd anniversary,
which is pretty wild to do a podcast every week for 3 years. Started out as just me and Percy, sort of just dinking around. I said dinking. I didn't say dicking.
there's like copper and silver. Did we get like paper for 3 years or what?
We'll fact check that.
Plastic.
Colvin, yeah, probably something like that. So
I want to chime in here. You guys, I sat down just a little bit ago, and I told Percy, and then I told Face. I said, just looking around how it's morphed from the first time I was here to what it is now. You guys are putting out something that's fun. The guests enjoy coming back.
Yeah,
we wouldn't come back if we didn't. And it's putting out some good music content. And again, if you're listening by any chance for the first time, the purpose of this podcast is to get you to dive into some music that you may or may have never listened to. I may look like Bob Marley, apparently from the pictures tonight.
Well, you're no pale.
I look like him. But I don't know his music that well, but I know it a whole lot better tonight than
Exactly
than
right.
I did a month and a half ago when you contacted me.
That's exactly right. If you want to come do a podcast, just reach out to us through Facebook. It's probably the easiest way. Or if you have my number,
And this is a
the
side note
topic will opine.
before we get started into the Bob Marley. I want to let everybody know that I finally watched the Bob Dylan movie Sunday.
Yeah,
And you got me wanting to watch it.
It's amazing.
yeah, it's great. It's great. Now, I mean, if you haven't seen the Bob Marley movie, you need to see that because the actor in that was fantastic, and like the actor in the Bob Dylan movie who sang the songs himself, the actor in
I've got some traveling to do in a couple
Yeah.
of weeks. I'm downloading.
yeah, cool.
That's on
cool,
my
cool.
that's on my list.
All right, let's get kicked off. Let's go. Good intros, guys. So happy we're all here together tonight. Honorable mentions. I can't. This I know this was a little bit weird. Uh, when I said I want to do Bob Marley, he gave me that look, and I was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." And he said, "Okay." So I can't wait to hear what he has picked. So we're starting honorable mentions off. Let's go first.
We got a few facts about Mr. Marley to start with. You know that he was actually a country music fan.
I did know that.
He liked Jim Reeves and Johnny Cash.
Wow.
And his second single was actually a country cover.
Okay.
I'd never heard that country song. It's like, I'll have another cup of coffee. It's like by obscure country artists that I'd never heard of.
Wow.
He was buried with several things.
Okay.
He was buried with a Les Paul, a Bible, a marijuana bud, and a soccer ball.
He loved all the above.
And when he got sick, he refused amputation
Yes.
due to his religious beliefs,
Right.
and it quite possibly could have saved his life.
Yeah. And he refused Western civilization medication and went the route of a they put him on, and it just didn't work. And herbs, and of course, they said, speaking of herb, they said Bob smoked a pound of weed a week.
But at the end, he finally switched from the Rastafarian religion to some sort of unorthodox Christianity.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, now to my honorable mentions.
Okay, this is going to be interesting.
And this was how we say this, off the beaten path for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But like always,
I'm with you. I'm the same way.
I
No, I was the one that I've always been full in. And that comes from my older cousin Tom Cook, who loves reggae.
I put the work in. And my first honorable mention is a song called Burning and Looting
Oh yeah.
off the album Burning. And there's a line in this that says, how many rivers do we cross? Do we have to cross before we can talk to the boss? And the first thing my feeble mind when it said that, Eric Clapton's got a song called Forever Man.
That's right.
And it says, how many bridges have I got to cross before I can talk to the boss?
Well, you know,
And I'm wondering if that's kind of where he.
it's very possible because they both did I Shot the Sheriff.
Yes.
Yeah. So, wow. That's a neat connection. Okay.
My next honorable mention is, and this is probably true, likely for every generation, and it's you can't blame the youth.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I mean, because I think it's self-explanatory.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, that guy grew up, in a third world country. And they say he is the
Third world country in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, and they say he's the first mega star from a third world country.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, and a lot of what he was thinking about was the repression of his people.
It's people.
And my last one is, and this song still holds true today. It's from the Survival album in '79, and it's So Much Trouble in the World.
Wow.
Good picks, man.
Good picks. Deep picks. Dude, those are deep
Yeah,
cuts.
you know what it is about Percy? As much as we like the same stuff, we never pick the same songs.
No, I know.
I actually like that. He brings me stuff that I'm like, I'm gonna have to check that out. And then I go back later and I'm like, all right,
You know,
this may have been better than
I like to refer to it as we start with Percy every time.
Yeah.
The first cut is the D.
Oh,
Well, seriously, it's like I didn't even think about that one, so I'm always interested in what he's going to pick each time. All right, Rasta Man.
all right.
Your honorable mention.
So my honorable mentions. My first honorable mention released May 16th, 1980 on the Uprising album.
Good.
Rolling Stones actually in 2021 placed this as the number 363 song of all time on their top 500.
And I don't know if people understand how substantial that is. You think 363. No, man.
363 of all time.
All time.
So I disagree with him because I put it in my honorable mentions. I think he's got at least 5 more better. But it is Could You Be Loved?
That's a great
Just
song.
one you hear and it just
You know the song
grabs you.
right away.
And honestly, I'm going to be honest. When I was making my list, this could have been in my top 5 easy.
Sure.
I just, something's got to make the cut. It made the cut down to honorable mention. My second one recorded in 78, but it was not released until 83. He actually passed away in 81.
He did.
So this was released posthumously, but it's Buffalo Soldier. It's one that most people may not know, but when you hear it, you go, oh, yeah, I do know that actually.
Well, it's on his greatest hits.
It's on his greatest hits. A Buffalo Soldier. I've heard this song for I don't know how long in my life. I never knew what he was talking about.
Well,
Never paid attention to the lyrics. But a Buffalo Soldier was actually a black man who was brought from Africa
yep.
to help the U.S. colonize America from the Native Americans.
That's exactly right. Most of them were on horseback.
Yeah, and the Native Americans branded the term. That's a
Buffalo Soldier. Yeah, so he was still singing for his people, man.
Yeah, and my last honorable mention kind of goes. I gave this one an honorable mention position because it's really the whole mantra around Bob Marley, and released June 3rd, 1977, from the Exodus album. It's Jamming. And his songs are jamming, and what makes I think Bob Marley unique, and I guess it's kind of across the reggae genre, but there's a beat and it's steady and it's strong, but it's slow.
Yep.
But it's not so slow like put you to sleep. It's uplifting.
Yep.
And
a lot of steel drums.
Steel drums, yeah. And so jamming is my third honorable mention.
That's awesome picks. He started. They were just called the Wailers.
Yes.
And y'all know the reason why they called
I don't.
All right.
Tell me why. When
he said there were 3 of them. Peter Tosh, who was murdered. Mm-hmm. We all know Bob was shot.
Yes.
And his took the bullet for him.
Yep.
They were called the Wailers because he said when all 3 of us when we were born we were crying. He's like, wow, that's really weird. Yeah,
that's
so
interesting.
we're the Wailers.
I guess we're all the Wailers.
Yeah. Well, if we were all crying, I guess we're all the Wailers. Bob Marley.
I mean, what would you done if it's like all these kids were born, they were pissing? It's like,
right. That's when I was born. That's when they
in the pooper.
I think when they smacked my ass when they brought me to life, I said, "Do it again."
You play like, oh, you say, baby, lie.
That's funny.
Good stuff.
All right. We'll mention. We're going to start with Exodus.
Oh yeah.
And again, I think this is a song about freeing his people.
That's exactly what it's about.
Yep. Let's just get out. I mean, the guy was born in Frenchtown. And in the slums, man. And just he lived his whole life as a lover of music and righteousness and, everyone, be all right, that kind of stuff. And that's just very cool. He came from nothing and became a massive.
Which I think maybe if one of anything is the beauty of music in general is you can come from not having a pot to piss in.
Yep.
So many, not just him, but so many artists
that's exactly right. Yeah.
If you got the talent and the drive, you could. It's the American dream.
And you got the words to strike the souls of the individual.
Yes. With Bob Marley.
Oh, absolutely.
honorable mention is This Love, which
Well,
again,
that's what's next song.
it's actually it is, but it's not the same
I
song.
know.
Oh, completely different. Same title, different song. So
Their video.
yeah, absolute better video. All right. My last one is Be Loved, which has already been mentioned by Matt over there. So, all right, that's the way to get us started. Now let's get into top fives. Percy, what's number five for you?
My number 5 is from the Rastaman Vibration album in '76, and it's just a title everybody can, I think, appreciate, and it's Positive Vibrations.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean,
Yeah,
who does not need some positive vibration?
the world
You know,
needs it, right?
the Beach Boys gave us good vibrations, and we have to mention we lost
We lost Brian Wilson.
We lost
Here.
a genius today, a true genius. And but good vibrations, but Bob gave us positive vibrations.
That's what he was all about.
And you got to think. I wonder. Listening to all these songs and trying to digest who Bob Marley was. I think he really knew the heart of the people he was singing to,
He did.
and he wanted to bring them up. And what a good thing
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
at people who were maybe not necessarily oppressed, but just born into the not most optimal situation. And his desire was through music, I want to make you enjoy life.
Yeah.
I think you could compare that to almost the traditional country music because they wrote songs about their people.
Yeah. That's correct.
That were relatable, and that was the same thing that Bob did. He wrote songs about his people that were relatable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was an oppression, and then Bob got drug into politics even, and
Yeah, well, that'll definitely pop up.
it's coming down.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. So
number five.
my number 5, Lee, segueing, you let me in. Already been mentioned. Released June 3rd, 1977, on the self-titled album Exodus. We kind of alluded to it already, but Marley survived an assassination attempt in December of '76. A bullet hit him in the arm and grazed his chest. He probably should have been dead, but he was fortunate. He wrote the Exodus album after he moved to London. He said, I'm getting the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I would have left it.
He had to.
He was making political stands, and there was a group that did not want him to do that anymore. So they were pretty much going to kill him. So he moved to London, and they wrote the Exodus album. The little segue I want to put with this is I wasn't familiar with this song until maybe about 8 years ago. If you're not familiar with Humphreys McGee, big fan. Loved them for a long time. They made an album called Song where all they did was they did mashups of popular songs, and they would put 3, 4, 5 songs into one song, and they're amazingly talented in putting it all together. Long story short, they mashed Exodus up with A Life During Wartime from the Talking Heads, City of Tiny Lights by Frank Zappa, and 25 or 6 to 4 by Chicago.
Wow.
If you've not listened to Humphreys McGee, I highly recommend that. Sort of a side note here.
No, you're giving me like 3 or 4 things in the parlor already.
Yes, yeah, I got you a lot. I got you a lot to come around to.
Excuse me, sir. That's the Losers Lounge.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's one they did on that album. So I heard it. I'll never forget hearing it. And I thought, what is this song Exodus? I went and listened to it. I thought, oh, that's Bob Marley's song. So it's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
But definitely a great song. And it is, it gives a picture of what they did once he had that assassination attempt. It was their exodus to get to London, get somewhere more safe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, diagnosed with cancer.
You mentioned London. It seemed like in the mid '60s,
late '60s,
'70s, London was the place where people went to chill.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jimmy.
You didn't have to go there and kind of find his self.
I mean, it was safe.
Go where the Beatles came from. They're the greatest.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fun. Misty Morning. It's just a great song. It's beautiful. Great song. So anyway, more about Marley. All right. So he got drug into this political race, right? And I think it's one of his last concerts. He got both candidates to come up on stage and shake each other's hands through all this bullshit and
Wow, did not
assassination
know that.
attempts. Oh yeah, and it was wonderful. And he said that was one of the highlights of his life is to be able to do that. So, all right, we're down to number 4. Percy, what you got?
My number 4 is the song. Probably people don't know the name of the song, but they know the
Good
words.
song. I know where you're going.
And it's from the Exodus album in '77, and it's Three Little Birds.
Yes, that shirt I'm wearing tonight was the closest thing
Yeah.
to
Yeah, very.
There's 3 things that people think this references. Some think it's the reference to growing marijuana,
Yep.
which was kind of too obvious.
Yeah.
Some think it's actual reference to real canaries, and then some think it was a reference to his 3 backup singers.
It is.
Oh wow. Okay.
They were called the Three.
The 3. It's gotta be. That's my guess.
They say that. Now they say that, but of course I would too. I'd be like, hey.
Well, I probably know of a couple. I think it's about marijuana and the backups on marijuana.
Singing sweet songs. It's
Singing
beautiful. It's a
sweet
beautiful
songs.
song.
Hey, Skinner to call him the whole cat.
Oh, that's great. So my number 4
Yes,
is
sir.
I'm going to skip a lot of garbage with it, but it's a kind of a 2-part song where there's a song with an interpolation put in with it. It was the original song was written in 1965, but the combination was posthumously in April 16th, 1984. But it's One Love, People Get Ready. It's what the movie's named
Absolutely.
after. One Love is kind of the icon statement of Bob Marley. If you had to put one thing on Bob Marley, you would say it's One Love. It's kind of confusing how this song got put together, but the song itself is spiritually very rich.
Yeah.
When he says, "Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and feel all right."
Yeah. And it's been covered.
It's been covered a lot. A lot of his songs
You
have.
get to finding out how great, outside of a few instances, this 1965 was.
Yeah.
I was 65. I haven't listened to that.
No,
Was
what?
it mentioned?
But that's
Okay.
my birth year, so we
Okay.
did 1960.
Well, that's when One Love was originally written.
Well, it was
It
written
did-
about my birth.
He was born. The Dead was formed in '65.
Well, there
No,
you go.
65.
Yeah. But this actually wasn't released, this version, until '84 posthumously. But One Love, People Get Ready. It's just a great song. That's my number 4.
That's good. My number 4, he wrote. That's not legal. That's a legal document. So writ of Corpus Christi. So he wrote this for his wife, and it's "Turn Your Lights." And it's one of his slower jams, but his wife had to live all this wild life with him. So,
What was her name?
gosh, I
I've
can't.
drawn a blank right now.
But I know his son is Ziggy.
Yeah, we know Ziggy.
One of the reasons I know that is because the closest thing I've seen to a Bob Marley concert is I went to see Ziggy Marley at Red Rocks. And boy, was there a cloud of smoke. It was
Her name was Rita.
It was-
Lovely Rita.
Rita. It was Ben Harper and Ziggy Marley.
Rita, her perfume smells sweeter.
Nitty gritty time. What's your number 3, Percy?
My number 3 has already been mentioned, and it's from the Exodus album in '77, and it's Jim.
We be jamming.
I mean, that's just a
That one sends me to the beach right away.
relaxed song.
Mention this, but Marley music is summer music. It is meant for when it's hot
Yeah.
and you want a light drink.
You want
and
a cold drink.
just relax.
Jamming actually refers to getting together for a celebration.
It does.
That's what
That's what they
most people, when you think jamming, you're just sitting around playing music and
Yes. Speaking Jamaican tonight.
you were trying to
I
get.
said Mon. That's not all I got, dude.
Okay.
All right. What you got?
All right, so my number 3 has already been mentioned, released August 29th, 1980 on the Exodus album. And if you're not catching a theme here, the Exodus album,
It's pretty freaking.
it might be the pinnacle of this stuff, but it's Three Little Birds. And I was going to talk about what Three Little Birds could mean. Percy's already done that for us. But it's just my favorite part of it is when he says singing sweet songs.
Yes. Yes.
This is my message to you.
This man was the reggae version of Ringo Starr.
To know that every little thing's going to be all right.
This is not the only song that mentions that, but we'll hold that for later. But it's just a very positive song, and if you need a song to make you feel good, listen to Three Little Birds.
Absolutely. It'll put a smile on your face immediately.
It's going to be a very dark day that song doesn't help a little bit.
Yes. A certain day for everybody needs like a feel good. You can put that on there.
Yes.
Maybe Blue Sky.
Yeah. That's a whole nother episode, brother. Well, we yeah. Boy seems like you dumbass.
One thing about this song, Three Little Birds, though, and I just noticed I put it into my notes here. It's very curious, as in it will leave you because he never actually said what Three Little Birds was. Were they actual birds? Were they his backup singers? Was it marijuana? Because of that, it will leave you going through the song being curious. What is Three Little Birds? And honestly, Three Little Birds, whatever you want it to be.
One thing's for sure, I'm
Whatever you want it to be.
gonna get 2 hands, so I can't give face Three Little Birds.
Or he would. I think because his roast Biggie.
I'll be releasing the song soon. Percy Birds.
Teach me how to give me birds. I'll have 2 roast beef piggies at me.
That is great.
It's hilarious. My number 3 is Natural Mystic.
Oh,
That's about as cool as it gets.
okay.
I just, I've always liked the song, and I learned a little bit about it, but not enough to really talk about it. But just to say it's a great song. So, anyway.
Like it.
Yeah. Number 2 for you, Purse.
My number 2 is almost like a gospel song with a gospel feel, and it was for the Rastafarian religion, that it speaks of Ham, the son of Noah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was some people think it talks about the curse of Ham, and it was the oppression of black people. But it's a song called "Give Thanks and Praises,"
Thanks and praises.
Yeah. Good one.
and that's another song that just, if that don't make you feel good,
Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't believe in the Rastafarian religion, quote unquote, that song kind of relates to other religions.
Sure does.
It's like George Harrison doing "My Sweet Lord." Just
That's right.
whatever you believe in, give
Hey,
thanks
man.
and praises.
As long as you're drinking from that river, is what I say. All right. Good choice.
All right. So my number 2, my last 2 songs are interesting because they would have been my last 2 regardless, but they're tied very closely to my birthday and my actual birth
Okay.
on their release day. So I found that very interesting as I went through. But this last one was released on my 6th birthday in 1980, October 7th, 1980, from the album Uprising, and it's Redemption Song. Now, Mike, go ahead and let you know. You're like, never mind. We'll look at it as we go through here. But this song has been covered a lot of times. I first heard Redemption Song when Pearl Jam covered it. It was the first show I ever did with you guys.
That's right.
They did a Redemption Song cover, but
Wycliffe Jean's done it too.
It's been done by Wycliffe Jean. It's been done by Manfred Mann.
Mm.
It's been done by Stevie Wonder. It's less reggae than the rest of his stuff.
It's a straight up pop hit almost.
It's very it's acoustic, obviously. But the lyric that has always captivated me is "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
Yep.
None but ourselves can free our minds."
He's so right on.
He had great lyrics, and this song in particular, as some of his other songs, it's about understanding and controlling your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, we let our emotions run out of tilt so many times.
Absolutely.
When a lot of times we need to emancipate ourselves from that and be the masters of our own, um, you know, I guess mental happiness.
That's
I
exactly.
don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
any other way to put it.
It's hard to put it. But
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right.
And that's what he was striving for. And the redemption song, I didn't realize this either, and it really changed my viewpoint of it after I did a little research and study. But he wrote this after he found out he had cancer.
Right.
He wrote this after he found out he pretty much had no way out of it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm on my way out. Here's redemption song. I need people to hear this.
That's right.
And
Great story.
so
behind
so
this
it's
song.
kind of changed my perception of the song a little bit.
You know, when he was dying, he was trying to get back to Jamaica,
Yeah.
but he was
They
not
couldn't-
too well,
they couldn't
and
risk
he had
it.
to fly. The flight was into Miami first. He never made it
He never
out of
made it back.
Miami.
There's a lot of song, and it's kind of sad in a way to say, but from his state,
hmm
when it's like when Howlin' Wolf knew that he was dying, he wrote Going Down Slow,
Wow.
and it became one of his best songs.
People relate to that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Very relatable.
It's a redemption song, and I didn't realize this till I did my research, but it was released on my 6th birthday. I don't
Oh, that's
remember my
pretty
6th birthday, but I mean, it came out that day.
That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
All right. My second one, man, and I struggled with my number one and my number two. And this song actually charted.
Yes, it did.
This song
I just saw your notes.
says "No Woman, No Cry," and it's a live recording, and I think it was I can't remember the year if it was 80,
but you appreciate this.
It was originally released in 74.
74,
He did
but
it-
live I think was.
Live was later.
a great concert from '78 in Boston,
Oh boy, yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that's on that one. But
Okay, right around the ballpark then. But always liked that song, and
It's got an organ in it. That's great. Anytime you put an organ in a song, it's good.
the Wailers don't get enough credit.
No, they don't.
They don't. You know, they went off and did their own thing and all went solo, but Bob still recorded
Mm.
under Bob Marley
But
and the Wailers.
go back and
That's
listen to that.
recordings.
That very first album with the Wailers, it's real
Pretty good. There's three.
It's poppy.
Yeah. It really is poppy. So interesting. So all right, we're at number ones. What you got, Percy?
My number one, when I just first heard the intro, and I'd never heard this song of this week. To me, it's kind of like it's a bluesy song. To me, it's definitely not reggae in my mind, but it's from the Catch a Fire album from '73, and it's Stop That Train.
Stop that train.
That train. I don't know if I've heard that one.
I'm not sure I'm as familiar with
But
that.
I know
Listening tonight.
and this past week he has probably listened to. He put his audio file on and listened to every.
Yep.
And I know you did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to every Bob Marley song there is.
This is kind of, and Wookie will appreciate this. This is like, hey, stuff screwed up here. Just stop the train
Yeah.
and leave me. Merle saying, stop, stop the world, let me off.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's had that moment where they're,
But enough is enough.
But-
Get me out of here.
to me, this was bluesy in my mind. I could be wrong and I could be stupid, but it was bluesy and not the reggae.
Very cool selection. Can't
Great
wait to listen to it.
Again, I respect all of Percy's picks. We like a lot of the same stuff. Of the 8 picks, we had 2 that were similar.
That's right.
And I honestly thought we were all going to show up with the same picks tonight.
No, well, I knew like we said, he'd
Yeah.
go deep, and I knew you would too. And,
Yeah.
and I'm always going to be the obvious guy.
Oh yeah.
I just
Well,
want to say
I'm
there's
kinda-
one that didn't make the list, but I'm sure Percy will put it on. This playlist is going to be fun. It's summertime. If you're by the pool,
Put it on.
just put this on, man. Kaya.
Yeah.
Kaya should have been on someone's list. I was
Didn't make
thinking.
it, but
No.
it was close.
Yeah, mine too. Number one's hard to mention. It's Redemption Song. And if I had to.
So you want to let
Oh,
Matt
you're number
get
one.
his-
All right.
That's
Screw
okay.
this up.
Because no, actually that plays in well because my number one song has already been mentioned. Released the same year as my birthday. Said it was going to be the birthday on the 1-2. 18 days after I was born on October 25th, 74, from the Natty Dread album. I got my dreads tonight. No Woman, No Cry.
There we go. We swapped.
So we swapped 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting what I found out about this song. And Marley is credited for writing this song, and it's about Trenchtown, which, if you don't know, Trenchtown was the ghetto in Kingston, Jamaica. It was a bad place to grow up. But when he wrote this song, he also credited Vincent Ford. Vincent Ford was a friend of his who ran a soup kitchen in that area of Trenchtown that fed people. Because he credited Vincent Ford, that ensured he would continue to receive royalties so that he could continue his soup kitchen.
What a guy.
That makes the song number 1 for me, knowing that. And obviously, like I said, Trenchtown, it was the public housing ghetto of Kingston. But he reminds the woman of their time in Trenchtown and what they went through. And then he just keeps saying, everything's going to be all right. He talks about, they shared porridge. Talks about George and all the people. And when I listen to this song, I've never lived in that type of housing. I've never lived in
I've seen video footage of where he grew up.
But if you listen to this song and you really dive into the song, you'll get a feel of where he was from. He communicates it in a way that you go, I understand where you came from. And I just think it's a beautiful song. And to me, it's got the organ, as I mentioned earlier, and it just is catchy. And it's by far my favorite Bob Marley.
Man, great selections by everybody, of course.
Right.
Now it's
and you jump. It's okay.
It's okay. Sure. Too much rum, too much red. Good stuff. Yeah. So, thanks again, Matt.
Yeah.
This was good. I hope we turn some people on to a little Bob Marley. It is summertime. Do we have a Percy's pick?
We do have a Percy's pick.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And probably people are going to get tired of where I'm going with it.
I this as well.
But I don't really care. And this version that I found in this song, and actually nobody mentioned this song, and it's the Jerry Garcia band doing "Stir It Up." I couldn't find it really who it was, but there's a great female voice singing with him on this first
With Jerry.
With Jerry on "Stir It Up."
Yeah. Well, the playlist is going to be fantastic, as I mentioned. Play it in the summertime.
Ultimate summertime playlist.
You can thank us later for a good time, and we've had a good time tonight. Matt, you always bring some.
Oh, it's so fun. Appreciate you guys having me.
Next week we are having Jackson Simmons back. And he did Johnny Cash with us years back. It was one of our earliest episodes. We're revisiting Johnny Cash, but the Rick Rubin produced American recordings. Songs that Johnny Cash did. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and that's a lot of great music. Will be. You better sharpen your pencil on this, buddy, because that's right down our alley. And once again, Matt, we're going to task you with another tough one coming up.
Give me, again. I've been here on Pink Floyd. I've been here on Pearl Jam, Led Zeppelin, Neil Young. I don't those guys, but no, Bob Marley, I can pull it off.
You do tonight, and boy, you do cool stuff. It's all cool, and good job, guys. Much love, and enjoy the stay.
Thanks again.